Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back. So now in this video, we will be working with the login system, okay? So that the person can just go ahead and he can log himself in by just going up to the login.php, and then we all work with it. First of all, what we have to do, we just have to come up here and we have to go to the login, okay? Let me open up the login.php in the connection of PHP folder. Okay, I'm just gonna go back. I'm just gonna open up to admin, and in here, I'm gonna open up to login.php. Okay, and I have to remove everything that I have in here. Okay, and I have to copy the exact same thing that I have for sign up. Okay, and I'm gonna paste. So in here you can see that I'm gonna leave the message, I'm gonna leave the functions, I'm gonna leave everything that I have. Instead, I'm gonna go down, and instead of just please sign up, I'm gonna say that please log in. Okay, and what I'm going to be doing here is that I don't need the name. Okay, I only need the email address and I need the password. Okay, and that's all. And then what we have to do, we just have to go in and we have to grab, we have to basically remove this name. Okay, and we have to only work with the email and password, and we have to check for the empty fields. So it's going to be like author name should not be here. So it's going to check for the author email and the author password. And now it's going to check for the validity of the email. Okay, and then we have the if email exists. So basically now we have to just work with the login. So from this else thing, okay, from this else thing, we have to go ahead and we have to work. Now let's just come up here and let's see where this else closes. This else closes here. So we have to come up here. Okay, we have to come up here, and we have to just remove everything. And I can see this else is right here. So rest of the things that we have in here are totally same. So it's going to tell please enter valid email address, and it's going to tell empty. So now basically what we have to do is that we don't have to basically go ahead and we have to definitely check for the email if basically we have the email exist. Okay, but if the email exists, what we will do, we will not tell our user, okay, we will not tell our user that the email exists or not or anything. Okay, we will just say login error. Okay, because if we tell our user that email already exists, okay, then our user will know that this is the email, it exists. Oh my God. We're doing all these things in the login.php, not in the logout.php. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to open up the logout.php. Login.php, sorry. And I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to just copy all the things, and I'm just going to paste it in the login.php. And here what we have to do is that from the email existing, okay, you can see from this thing, what we have to do from where we are hashing the password, okay, from where we are actually hashing the password, we have to just remove everything. Okay, and you can see that everything we have here, but if the email already exists, then what we basically have to do, we just have to tell our user that login error. Okay, we just have to write here login error. We don't have to basically go ahead and we have to tell the user that the email really exists or anything, or that the password is wrong or anything. We just have to say login error. If we just give a hint to the user, otherwise he will know that, okay, if this email is specific, the email is already there in the database. So now I have to wake up and I have to guess the password. Okay, so we don't have to give any hint to the user. Okay, so we have to say login error. Else, if the email that we have here, okay, here we have to say if the email does not exist, then we have to basically show the error. Otherwise, if the email exists, then we don't have to show the error in the login, because in the login, we have to check if email is there, if email address that the user has entered in the login form. Okay, let me just open up the login form right now so that I can show you. I'm just going to come up here, and here I'm going to open up the login.php. Um, okay, on line 62, it should be great. It was previously greater than 0. Okay, so I'm just going to keep it greater than 0. And you can see this is right here. So now when someone will log in, okay, when someone will log in, he will enter his email address and he will enter his password. But if the email is there, if the email is not in our database, we will not check if the password exists or not or anything. Okay, we first have to check if the email is there in our database. So if the email is not there, okay, we will just say login error. Okay, so if the email is not there, so for the email is not there thing, what we have to do, we just have to write here less than and is equals to 0. So if the MySQL underscore num underscore returns 0, this means basically that the email is not in our database, then we will say login error. Else, if the email is in the database, Okay, then what we will do, we will go ahead and we will check if the password matches. Okay, so what we have to do right now, we just have to go and we have to check if password matches. But before writing this comment, we have to come up here and we have to write here SQL is equals to select all from author, select all from author, their, what we have, their email address, where basically author underscore email is equals to dollar email. Dollar author underscore email. Okay, so you can see that here we will check for the email. I'm just gonna just time this so that we can see that actually we are checking for this. Okay, so you can see this is right here. Since we all have already this SQL statement, that is why we don't have to write this statement again. We can just use this statement. Okay, I'm just gonna change this to SQL and I'm gonna change this to SQL here. Okay, and we can definitely use this statement. Okay, we don't have to just go ahead and we have to write this same statement. Okay, we don't have to write the same statement again here. We can definitely go ahead and we can use this statement. Okay, and now what we will do, since you can see that we have the result in the MySQL underscore query, so what we will do, we will just write here file. Okay, and in here we will say $row is equals to MySQLi underscore fetch underscore assoc. And in here, we have to write the dollar result. So whatever the result we have here, we're going to just copy and we're going to paste it in here. And now what we have to do, we just have to grab the password. So how we're going to grab the password, we just have to come up here and we have to write here dollar. We have to first grab the author ID, author name, author email, author password, author bio, and author code. So let's just come up here. But before just doing, we first have to check if the password matches. Okay, so what we have to do for that, if we have to come up here and we have to write here checking if password matches. Okay, so here what we do, if password underscore verify. Okay, and in here, what you have to do, you first have to write the password that you have entered. Okay, so what we'll be doing here, we have to come up here and we have to grab the password that we have. So what is a password? Password is basically author password. So to just come up here and in the first parameter, I basically have to write the author password. And in the second parameter, I basically have to write the hash password that we have. So hash password is basically in the database. So we have to grab the hash password. How we'll grab? We just have to write your $row. And in here, we have to write single quotation mark and we have to write here author underscore password. So if it basically does not match, okay, we first have to check for the error and then in the else, we will check for the success. So if it does not match, this means that the password is incorrect. Okay, then what we will do, we will use a header of the same thing and we will say login error. That's all. Okay, we will say login error. Since we don't have to give any user the hint that whether the password is incorrect or whether the email is not in the database, we don't have to give the user the hint. We just have to say login error. Else, if this is correct. Okay, if this is correct, we'll just use else if. And in here, we will say that password verify is actually correct. So why I'm using else if is because sometimes it might happen that it is also false and the other one is also false and there is something else result. Okay, so we don't have to do that. So if it's basically true, okay, then only we have to work. So what we'll be doing, if it's true, basically we don't have exclamation mark here, you can see. So if it's true, then what we have to do, we just have to go ahead and we have to log the user in. So how we log the user, we just have to come up here and we have to write these sessions. Okay, and we have to write here $_ session. Okay, and in here we have to write ID is equals to $row is $row ID, $row author underscore ID. Okay, and same like this, we can just come up here and we can change this to author underscore ID. Okay, because we need to keep it similar. So now you can see that session, the first session we have here created is with the author ID. And then what we do, we just press the Control D so that we can actually copy and we can just grab the list. So we just have to open this up and you can see that we have author and ID, name, email, author password, author bio, and author role. Author ID, then we need the author name. Okay, come up here and change this to name as well. Okay, then we basically need the author underscore email. Okay, come up here and change this to email. Okay, then we basically need the author password. Okay, we don't need the password. Okay, we don't need this password, so we'll probably be leaving this password because since we have already verified it, we don't have to work with the password if password is correct, dark, or anything. Okay, we don't need the password. We need the bio and we need the role. Okay, just change this to bio. Okay, and come up here and change this to bio as well, and then work with the author underscore role. Okay, and change this to author underscore role as well. Okay, and now what we have, we just have this, and you can see that this is right here. Okay, so you can see this is everything we have here is totally done, and you can see this is our sign up thing, sign in thing ready. Okay, we have to change this to sign in as well. And we also have to come up here and we have to start the session. So now you can see that if someone will just go to the login page, he will be able to log himself in. So I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to say this thing. And if someone is actually logged in, then what we will do, we will actually come up here. We will actually send him to header location. Sorry, I have to just come up here and I have to just send him to the header location. Header location index.php. Okay, just right here, index.php, because I need to send him to the main location that he is actually logged in. Okay, and now you can see that this is right here. So if I just go ahead and I just come up here and I say titanzeroman.com and I just enter a wrong password, you can see it will just tell me login error. Okay, and it's just sending me to signup.php. Okay, I have to change this to from signup.php. I basically have to change that to let's just go come up here and let's change this to signin.php. Okay, and we have to change everything. Everywhere we have the sign up, we have to change this to signin.php. Seems like this change this to signin.php, and that's all. We don't have anyone. So now you can see if I just go in and I just go to sign in, and I can see okay, it's basically not sign in, it's log in. Oh my God, I have to do everything again. So basically I have to change this to full this to login.php. Okay, same like this, I have to change fully this thing to login.php. Basically, when you are doing some great things, and these silly mistakes are obvious things, okay? And they happen a lot. Okay, so now I'm just gonna come up here and I'm gonna go to login.php. So just right here this, and you can see this is right here. I just enter all the empty fields, okay? Or I just enter this thing and I just enter a wrong password. I just sign up, and you can see it says sign in login error. Okay, so I basically have to change this button value as well from sign up to basically sign in. Okay, and you can see that if I just go down and I just refresh, you can see that here we have sign in. So I can pretty well close this as well. And now the person can just go ahead and he can either log in and he can also sign in as well. So now since we are done with the login and log out, let's just go ahead and let's work with the login. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna write the correct password. Okay, and I'm gonna hit sign in. And I can see I'm basically logged in. That is why I'm actually redirected to index.php. So now let's go ahead and let's work with the logout.php as well so that we can destroy all these session if someone just comes up here. So I'm just going to open up the logout.php. Sure. I have to open the logout.php. And in here, I have to first start the session. Underscore start. Okay. And in here, we have to just write session underscore unset. And we have to write here session underscore destroy. And now what we have to do, we just have to write a header. And we have to send the user back to location of login.php question mark message is equals to success fully logged out. Okay, I'm just gonna come up here and I'm gonna go to logout.php. So logout.php, and I can see when I go to logout.php, it just sends me to successfully logged out, and now I'm actually logged out. So this is my pretty well everything ready. And now what we have to do, we just have to go ahead and we have to work up to the index.php. Remember, we have two roles. Okay, the number one role is admin and the other role is author. So if someone is admin, he can just do everything. And if someone is author, he is restricted to only post the blog post, not anything else. Okay, so in the next video, we'll be working up with more stuff. Stay tuned and bye.